Hi, I'm Chandra Hui from OUM Kuantan Pahang Center, and I wanted to start to ask you a question. Do you find yourself excelling or at a disadvantage that now you're learning in the online platform? With the COVID-19 pandemic, students and teachers were left wondering if online teaching can teach the students the same way that the classroom's learning can, even through both ways of teachings are completely different. With the development of the information technology, the internet is being used more and more extensively in the education. A large number of the online teaching platform has sprung up, and some people even said that the online teachings can really replace these physical classes. The development of the internet has indeed promoted the development of education and brought a lot of convenience to education and teaching. Since the pandemic, people's lifestyles have become different, and the way that we attend to the classes has become different from before. We used to attend classes usually either in the classroom listening to the teachers, lecturers, and jotting them down in our textbook. In this 2020, as expectedly, there is suddenly no familiar noise from the course mates, no familiar environment of school, just online classes. Whereas before I was studying face-to-face, now I'm studying just in front of the computer and the mobile phone. Due to the epidemic of the COVID-19, many students are being forced to move to an online platform learning. The outbreak has progressed so quickly and unexpectedly that students across the country seem to have fallen in a big hole on their way to the school. In accordance to the Ministry of the Education, no school, no class document, full-scale online teachings were introduced across the country. The development of the human information technology has been tremendous, and within just a few days, almost the whole country has started teaching online. However, what is an online classes and what is a physical classes? Online classes are an emerging form of learning. And by the outbreak of the epidemic, every school have started to implement the online classes. However, teachers will record their videos that learners can access them online from home, taking advantages of the fragmented time available wherever there is the internet access. And what about the physical classes? The teachers teach in person, and because there are other children learning with them, the atmosphere is stronger and the teachers is able to keep an eye on each children's state of the lesson and make timely reminder and adjustment. Moreover, in physical class, there is more interactions between the teachers and the children. So the lesson is more effective and you can check the result of your learning at any time. Next, let's talk about the pros and cons of the online classes versus the face-to-face learning. Not only does the online teaching allow students to learn without postponement, but it also more convenient for teachers to use the courseware what cannot be expressed in words in the class, which is faster than in the classroom and give everyone a good viewing experience, so the student can look back at the teacher's online courseware to ensure that the key knowledge is not bold. Secondly, teachers can only teach one class at the school at the same time. Because the more students in the class, the less effective the lessons will be, and there's a limit to the number of the students that can fit in the classroom. The teachers can teach hundreds of the students at the same time via the internet, and the student will not have to listen to the lectures because of lack of the seats or other factors, and those who do not understand the lecture can even check back the playback after the class. Thirdly, the advantages of the online classes are that they save money and time. This is because you can save the time on your way to the school by taking the lessons at home. As we all know, the offline education is very expensive, with the costs of teachers, venues, and so on requiring a lot of money to support. However, with the online classes, there is no need to rent a venue, and parents can save the money that brings their kids to go to the school. But There are two sides of the coin. Where there's light, there must be the shadow. When online classes are available, students will be relatively new to online classes, so there will be more interest for a while at first. As for the latter, students gradually dislike the online classes, which the result of the disadvantages of having online classes compared to the physical classes. The difference between the online classes and physical classes is that the classes are held in the different places. One is under the watchful eyes of the teachers, and the other is not dependent on the teachers to take the online classes on their own. Taking an online classes for the different students is played a completely different role. For the academic students, taking online classes is perhaps a better way to learn because in online classes they are able to make more friends, a new way to teaching and novel materials to play with. For the students with lack of self-control or who don't usually like to attend the classes in the physical classes, online classes are a kind of welfare for them. They can pretend to listen to the lectures or read a book or just jump to the page to play a game. And for them, taking the class is the same as not taking it when it's online classes. The second disadvantage is that teachers checking homework is difficult and cannot be marked face to face. The majority of the teachers require the students to punch in their homework, and groups are created between students who pass answer to each other. So, the quality of the work that is punched is questionable in the case of the classroom teaching. The exam and the homework are single person, single table, supervised by the teachers, and the homework is actually done by the students. In terms of homework marking, offline homework marking can be implemented for students if any problems are found with their work. Of course, online homework marking allows for voice guidance, but it is still not effective as face-to-face marking. This results in teachers not being able to have a comprehensive understanding to student learning. Thirdly, the online classes rely most on the internet, but the internet has not been completely perfected. For example, if the network signal is poor in some place, then the effect of the listening to the lessons will be very poor. In addition, the downsides of the online classes is that students and teachers have to look at their mobile phones or the electronic or other electronic device to learn during the class. And if they teach in this mode for a long time, it might be a big burden on the teachers and student eyesight. Overall, although there are disadvantages to the online classes, there's also a huge advantage. You can have a mobile phone, be anywhere with the internet access, be able to take the classes from everywhere in the world. But the physical classes requires a classroom, books and time. So online classes are much more convenient than physical class. This also allows both teachers and students to attend this class without having to leave their homes and without being unable to attend classes due to the distances. However, the advantages of the physical classes, it can be said that physical classes are a way of teaching that has been placed since the beginning of the mankind. The teacher speaks and the students listen, both in the same classroom, face to face with zero contact, making it very easy to interact. Teachers ask questions and the students raise their hand to answer the questions about the teachers ask, so that the teachers can easily grasp their performance. In addition, the teachers will be able to listen and learn from the question asked by the students, so that one student can ask the questions and many students can benefit. Teachers can also observe the effect of the lesson in the real time and can detect whether the students are making small movements in the lesson so that they can be corrected in time. In addition, the physical classroom has a more human touch because the physical classroom allows the teachers to communicate with the students face-to-face, timely detection of students' problems, and timely adjustment of the classes. Thirdly, student is not easy to focus in the online classes. In the physical class, children are more focused because of the contrast of the environment. Online classes are immediately connected to the internet, with screen notifications and the temptations of other apps, which can easily lead the students in attention. But in the physical class, each students are forced to look only the teachers and the whiteboard, and their environment contrasts. The disadvantages of the physical classes, however, is that you cannot choose your own location and time for the class, and the time cost is relatively high if you are far from home. Whether it's better to have online classes or physical classes, I can only say that each has its own advantages and disadvantages. For me, since we are going through a worldwide epidemic of COVID-19, for me, I personally have found that this has been an incredible experience due to the fact that I'm attending OUM school and working part-time job. Online classes have given me an opportunity to have flexible schedules and to be able to pay myself with a lot of workload. However, for some of you, these options might not be aligned, but both ways of learning are great effective ways for students to learn when it comes to education. Thank you so much for your time.